This is Witness Radio.
On land, we not only grow food to feed our families, but also make a living.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
In a world racing toward clean energy, who's left behind? Welcome to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition, the program that highlights on Africa's journey toward a fair and inclusive energy future.
Hello, our dear listener. Welcome to Witness Radio, your trusted voice. You are listening to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition, where we take you on an informative journey of energy transition across Africa. And this is Witness Radio series program, The Media in the Renewable Energy. In this series, we are using the power of the media to shine a light on Uganda's journey towards clean, sustainable energy. To listen to us, visit our website www.witnessradio.org or visit Google Play Store and download the Witness Radio app. And in case you'd like to reach us out, please chat with us on our WhatsApp +256 745 965 765 or by calling us directly on +256 414 697 221, and we will hear from you, or on all our social media platforms. Now, as you may know, Uganda is among the African countries that are currently on the transition journey from burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, gas, and firewood to renewable or clean energy. And the transition is expected to deliver enormous socio-economic benefits to these countries, including improving energy access, creating jobs, and boosting energy security. And to achieve these benefits, these countries must make a great turn away from the burning of fossil fuels and firewood. And in this program, we bring you different renewable energy experts, partners, beneficiaries, and individuals to enlighten us as they share with us their experiences about the transition journey of the renewable energy or clean energy. And when we talk about transiting to renewable or clean energy, it means a country providing a type of energy that is environmentally friendly and helps to address the climate change issues, and also empowers the citizens to benefit from the clean energy. And currently, Uganda is working hard to produce the clean energy that will drive the country away from fossil fuels and the use of firewood. And so today we bring you energy experts from the Energy Ministry of Uganda, sharing with us what is taking place in the transition journey and the achievements made so far. But let's first go for a commercial break, and when we return, we will proceed with the program.
Do you have any information in regards to land grabbing, or you're aware of any person who has been evicted and their property destroyed because of land disputes? Report to Witness Radio through our numbers 0414 697 221 or WhatsApp 0745 965 765, or you can report directly to our website on www.witnessradio.org. Just click on the map, follow the direction, click on the map indicating the individuals and the land being grabbed. Click on that word, report evictions. Then report any victim of land evictions. Thereafter, search for your area of residence on that map. Click your area of residence, then a red dot will indicate. Click the red dot and fill in the form, then save your input. Don't forget to attach the picture of the grabbed land in question, then upload to send. Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
You're listening to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition.
Welcome back from that commercial break. And now let's begin our program with the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy, Engineer Irene Batebe, explaining to us about the journey of the renewable energy, how far we are, and whether the country is in the course, and particularly electricity, the current regulatory and the policy framework, how adequate it is, where we are, the achievements, and why there is continuous blackouts affecting businesses and why the ons and offs of the electricity all the time.
As the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, we want to start by reaffirming our commitment to ensuring efficient service delivery to the people of Uganda. And in relation to the question you've posed on the legal and regulatory framework and how that is supporting our access to it, and to highlight that indeed our energy policy over the years has delivered, especially on aspects of growing our generation capacity. Today, despite the bottlenecks we are facing that we will discuss later in the show, we are happy to inform the country that Uganda is generating sufficient electricity. We are currently generating about 2,059 megawatts of electricity, having grown more than 70% since 2020, speaking again to the government's policy of expanding our generation capacity. In addition to expanding that generation capacity, we've seen a growth in our transmission network from about 2,500 5 years ago to over 5,000 kilometers of transmission network. So, and then on the distribution side, we've seen our access levels grow from a dismal about 40% to 60% where we are today, with 22% on the grid and 38% off-grid. That is the solar home systems and other solutions that we have, mini grids for islands and remote areas like Lamo and some areas in Kasese. So overall, there has been growth in the electricity subsector, and thanks to the government's policy of ensuring investment is attracted and also government funding alongside the private sector in electricity subsector. Now, in terms of going forward, we have reviewed our energy policy. Because of the ambitious industrialization agenda that we have as a country, in 2023, supported by Cabinet, we reviewed our energy policy and we've set new targets. So we want to grow our generation capacity from the current 2,059 megawatts about to 52,000 megawatts by 2040. Why are we doing this? We are seeing a rapid growth in the economy. UEDCL presented to the ministry its report, its quarterly report, and we were astounded at the growth rate at 13% per annum on the demand side, jumping from about 10% a few months ago. So that speaks to the rapid growth in the economy, and we must match it on the energy and electricity side. So for us to achieve this 52,000 megawatts, we will be diversifying our energy mix. Right now, 93% of our electricity is renewable, largely hydropower, and we want to diversify that to deploy additional solar power. We are along the equator. We must tap into this solar. We want to also deploy our geothermal resources going forward, where we boast of several geothermal capacity in terms of resource, especially in areas of Panyimur in Pakwach, but also in Chikube, Kibiro, where we are doing exploration work. So we want to materialize that geothermal into actual power supply. We also will be deploying nuclear energy because for the 52,000 megawatts, the bulk of it at 24,000 megawatts will be renewable, and we need to complement it with nuclear energy power at 24,000 megawatts as part of that 52,000 megawatts. So we can give to the country that on the energy security side, the government has solid plans to continue expanding our generation, transmission, and distribution. Again, in terms of this energy policy, we are keen to ensure that we address along the value chain the other key enablers, especially on the distribution side, where we are working with you to support the company. So we are keen on the distribution side to ensure that the current challenges of intermittent power supply are addressed through investment and other interventions within the company that we are looking at, including deploying digital solutions to bring efficiency to the company's operations.
Now, the challenge of unstable power has become a general problem in the country. Communities see power lines passing through their land, but no connection and no electricity. But what is really the problem? Given the fact that some areas like West Nile is already connected to the national grid. The permanent secretary explains why and what is failing the power distribution.
Indeed, we did extend and we concluded the transmission network to West Nile. And as we speak today, transmission is not a challenge for West Nile. We are now structuring a number of interventions on the distribution side under our different access programs to expand the grid. Specifically, we are implementing the electricity access scale-up project, where supported by the World Bank and of course government of Uganda, we are deploying $638 million to undertake a number of interventions, including extending power to the underserved areas. We are also structuring specific interventions for West Nile. We will have a specific project that is targeting grid expansion in West Nile. So there is an opportunity because the funding is available, especially under the Access project, and we are going through the procurement processes, again, for the contractors, and that takes a bit of time, but come next year, we should see many of these programs rolled out. Under the Electricity Access Scale-Up project, we target to make 1 million connections, and we will be targeting, apart from households for domestic use, we'll be targeting small and medium enterprises. We'll support the parish development model on the agro-processing part, but also the industrialists. That's one of our other target areas. So we are confident that as we roll out these additional projects that we will cover the bulk of West Nile in the coming years of our project and NDP4, where we've prioritized grid expansion. And that's the work we are doing with UEDCL. It is possible. You heard from the managing director, under the interventions under the company, we intend to inject 518 transformers. But even under the Electricity Access Scale-Up project, we intend to also inject an additional 1,000 transformers. So in the next few years, we shall have an intensification and a densification as part of our intervention on the access side to bring stability. But as we extend the grid, we do encourage Ugandans to also venture out and look at the off-grid solutions, solar home systems. Under the same intervention supported by the World Bank, we do have a component where we are providing subsidized solar systems under the Uganda Energy Credit Capitalization Company. That is a government company that partners with a number of private financial institutions like Centenary Bank and others to ensure that we are able to distribute through energy service companies subsidized solar systems. So as we work to extend the grid, which of course takes a bit of time and is an expensive venture, we also interest Ugandans to look at these off-grid solutions as the government continues to expand the grid.
Yes, before we proceed, let's go for a commercial break. And when we return, we shall have the Managing Director, UDCL, telling us what they have done for the country since their takeover.
Eyes on a Just Energy Transition, a program that unpacks Africa's shift toward cleaner, fairer, and more sustainable energy. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. East African Standard Time as we spotlight communities, policies, and voices shaping the continent's energy future. Stay informed, stay empowered. Keep your eyes on a Just Energy Transition. Right here on Witness Radio.
This is Witness Radio, connecting indigenous and local community voices.
You're listening to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Now, we would like to understand how UEDCL is running its activities to ensure that all citizens benefit from the electricity energy. We want to know what has happened or what they have done since the takeover from Umeme. We have the Managing Director, UEDCL.
Let me start from takeover. The takeover of Umeme was one of the concession activities that we took on the 1st of April. But before that, we had taken over 5 private operators, and they were operating in all the areas outside the Umeme concession. So in the principle, on the 1st of April, it was an addition to some of the areas we are operating. It so happens that Umeme was mainly serving urban centers. So the findings that we got aligned with the decision which was done in 2022 to stop Umeme from investing. That over 200 transformers had failed. Some of them were at a verge of failing. So we've worked on them, replaced them. Quite a number of transformers are overloaded. As we speak, we've now injected about 132. Some are still work in progress to expand on the distribution substation. But in total, we are targeting to inject about 518 in our first phase of injection. Also, we established that more than 11 big substations. If I talk about substations, if you can take an example of Queensway substation, Mutunde substation, Mulago substation, and in that category. But we found about 11 on the distribution side, they were heavily overloaded above 80%. That any trip beyond that, 1 or 2 feeders is subject to tripping. That's when you could see fluctuations. So by the time we took over, where the network had entered a phase in the utility, what is called instability. Instability is fluctuation before you enter into load shedding. Because the areas we're experiencing fluctuation is calling for investment. That's when we've come in now. And that's the journey we have started. And so far it is fair moving as planned, although what we've appreciated and what the population has to appreciate, that we are dealing with the civil works. In the civil works, there is planning and deploying materials plus execution. And in the space for deploying materials, that's when you go procurement, order for stock. We've awarded contracts worth 280 billion supplies of materials. Most of these materials, they've been shipped, they're on sea. Some of them are also being manufactured here. I can tell you we've given contracts to the manufacturers of transformers, and industry area is busy now in the factory for transformers. Even in meters, they're quite busy. The same applies to conductors. Those 3 elements, we are mainly manufacturing them from here. So our investment has also added another flavor of bubu, plus also creating employment. So we believe that in the next 6 to 9 months, when those materials are being deployed, we can see some good sanity. Very good.
The MD also shares how the UEDCL has managed to improve power in rural areas up to 99%, and says that the power is now reliable.
Actually, some rural areas we have stabilized them. If I can give an example of one of the rural area, like Karamoja. Power availability in Karamoja is over 99%. Another rural area is Nguru. Guru unrest is a very local issue, working with the transmission, power supply in Guru and the neighboring Lira district is fairly much more stable. We are only facing challenges where the feeders at 33 kV are overstretched in distance and are overloaded in loads. And now that comes to what we call urban-rural. Urban-rural. The not very rural, but urban-rural. Just from the major urban, you enter into the urban-rural. With the urban-rural, we have feeders. If I can give an example of Mitiana feeder from Mutundwe, where it is starting from, it starts from the urban, over-congested, overloaded. By the time it leaves Busega, Natete, it is hitting now the maximum. So it enters the urban-rural of Bujuko, Bulenga. That's where we start getting conductors overloaded and overheating. The tripping now comes into play. But what have we done in some of those urban rurals? We are doing what we call optimization of the current infrastructure. Optimization, I can say, where the substations were not properly aligned. For example, Kachiri, we've improved the load from 10 megawatts to 20 megawatts, times 2. Now the urban rural of the Kachiri surrounding, Wachiso, Chikubampanga, and towards Galamba, they have stability on the major feeder. But what has come up again, as you stabilize the feeders, more load is pushed onto the transformers. So we are saying now, overall transformers reacting. How do they react? By bursting. They give way. And that's where we are going to invest over 518 transformers to stabilize. And those are the contracts we've given to our manufactured transformers to stabilize the last end. And some customers whom we've injected, specifically, there is a village called Namasanga. They wrote to us. There was poor voltage, and we've worked on them. Of recent, they sent a letter thanking us that the community is now happy, the voltages have stabilized, and others.
Now, before we proceed, let's go for yet another commercial break, and when we return, we shall proceed with the conversation.
Do you want to tune into Witness Radio? Go to Play Store on your phone, type Witness Radio. You will see the application, download it, and start listening to Witness Radio. You can also visit our website on www.witnessradio.org. Click live on your PC's right hand, then click the button in the middle. Then listen to Witness Radio and learn all issues about land and environmental protection.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
You're listening to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition.
Welcome back from that break. You are listening to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition at Witness Radio, where we take you on an informative journey, and at the moment, focusing on Uganda's renewable energy transition plan. And we continue with our experts from the Ministry of Energy telling us how far the country is with renewable energy. And so would like our listener to understand all about smart meters and how benefiting these are to our community.
The smart business we're talking about is 360. We've deployed technology that monitors from our logistical movement, the staff, and the network. If I can talk about the staff, for any UEDCL staff that goes on the network, they go with a reference number. That reference number is generated from our works order management system. How does it come around? If a customer calls, it picks the location, and our staff is in position to follow that location and do the needful. In that case, we are tracking each and every staff, how they move in the field. That's one. Even the fleet they are using, those fleet, they are mapped on a GPS, and we are tracking them left and right. If I go to the customers, we've deployed technology that you no longer need to come to our office for any reason. If you are applying for power, you in your sitting room, get your phone, apply online. We shall get a message, digital. We come to you, do the inspection, payment of your new connection services. You don't leave your home, you pay online, we come and connect you. But also, we are enhancing our smart technology. We've started deploying smart meters for the three-phase customers, that if you buy a token, all the meters we are rolling out, you do not need to punch in that long 20-digit number. The energy will be loaded automatically onto the meter and not tokenized. The message will automatically go on your meter and you'll see it on your customer interface. You'll actually be seeing your money. If you pay 100,000, you'll be seeing 100,000 on your token, and as on your token reader. And as you use, your money will be reducing gradually. Why are we starting that? Because the three-phase customers, they have to benefit on the time of use tariffs. At night, after midnight to the morning, the tariff is low. So we are implementing that facility. But at the same time, we are also deploying what we call data concentrators to monitor our transformers. We have just finished a pilot project in Chitintare, and it's on track. The results are quite good. What's going to happen? At any time T, 24/7, we shall be in a position to see the behavior of the transformer, how it is loaded, and all the smart meter customers who are connected on the transformer, how they are consuming. This one will enhance our technical loss management and commercial loss management.
The challenge of connectivity is also paramount, especially in the rural areas where the communities feel neglected, as they see power lines pass through their land but cannot be connected to the grid. Permanent Secretary Engineer Irene Batebe clarifies about the on-grid and off-grid.
Indeed, we did extend and we concluded the transmission network to West Nile. And as we speak today, transmission is not a challenge for West Nile. We are now structuring a number of interventions on the distribution side under our different access programs to expand the grid. Specifically, we are implementing the electricity access scale-up project, where, supported by the World Bank and of course government of Uganda, we are deploying $638 million to undertake a number of interventions, including extending power to the underserved areas. We are also structuring specific interventions for West Nile. We will have a specific project that is targeting grid expansion in West Nile. So there is an opportunity because the funding is available, especially under the Access project, and we are going through the procurement processes again for the contractors, and that takes a bit of time, but come next year we should see many of these programs rolled out. Under the electricity access scale-up project, we target to make 1 million connections, and we will be targeting, apart from households for domestic use, we'll be targeting small and medium enterprises. We'll support the parish development model on the agro-processing part, but also the industrialists. That's one of our other target areas. So we are confident that as we roll out these additional projects that we will cover the bulk of West Nile in the coming years of our project and NDP4, where we've prioritized grid expansion. And that's the work we are doing with UEDCL. It is possible. You heard from the managing director, under the interventions under the company, we intend to inject 518 transformers. But even under the electricity access scale-up project, we intend to also inject an additional 1,000 transformers. So in the next few years, we shall have an intensification and a densification as part of our intervention on the access side to bring stability. But as we extend the grid, we do encourage Ugandans to also venture out and look at the off-grid solutions, solar home systems. Under the same intervention supported by the World Bank, we do have a component where we are providing subsidized solar systems under the Uganda Energy Credit Capitalization Company. That is a government company that partners with a number of private financial institutions like Centenary Bank and others to ensure that we are able to distribute through energy service companies subsidized solar systems. So as we work to extend the grid, which of course takes a bit of time and is an expensive venture, we also interest Ugandans to look at these off-grid solutions as the government continues to expand the grid.
Now, before we proceed, let's go for another commercial break, and when we return, we'll continue from there.
Listen to Witness Radio and gain knowledge about land and environment injustices.
Land gives us identity, belonging, and security.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Breaking the silence and elevating community voices. Witness Radio, your number one choice.
You're listening to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition.
We'll come back from that break. Now, you are listening to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition at Witness Radio, where we take you on an informative journey, and at the moment focusing on Uganda's renewable energy transition plan. And this time, we are listening to the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy, explaining about the expansion of the grid and to ensure that there is reduction in the delays.
We were discussing earlier on the grid expansion program, and we want to comfort Ugandans that under this electricity access scale-up project, we continue to implement the free connections policy, where the government of Uganda pays for your connection for one pole and no pole. So as long as you're within a certain radius and you only require one pole or none, through UEDCL you're able to access electricity connectivity for free. What do you have to do? UEDCL maintains an online portal where you can apply, and once they've done the inspection of the premise, then the connection will be made. So we are aware of a number of agents, we call them Kamufus, who have been purporting to be UEDCL staff and have gone into residences and tried to extort money from citizens. So it's important that we clarify that the free connections policy is entirely free. You only pay for the wiring of your premises, and that shouldn't exceed about 53,000 shillings. So in terms of the process, that is done online, and the UEDCL, after they've done the evaluation, they then send teams to do the connectivity of that premise. So we wanted to emphasize the aspect of free connections provided by the government of Uganda. And as we speak, UEDCL has so far made about 166,000 connections. We gave them a target of 400,000 connections per month, and they are working hard to ensure they get to that figure in order for us to meet our target of 1 million connections under this World Bank program. And the MD can clarify on the process that they undertake as the company. In terms of load fluctuations, that's what we have, the MD has discussed in terms of interventions. It is an investment issue. We are working to ensure that we inject additional transformers where these are overloaded, but also for new substations for overloaded areas. He highlighted, for example, there are plans to revamp the Majije substation. We are also planning to revamp Mutundwe substation so that we improve on the quality of supply of power, and many others that we have earmarked under our analysis done by the company.
The Managing Director, Paul Mosiga, also explains about the issue of vandalism, which he says has led to the loss of 4 million units of electricity worth billions of shillings.
The fact of the matter, the issue of vandalism is a national crisis, not only UDCL. And the action that happened in Mukono was extreme. It happened on the side of the transmission line, but it kicked out or it disabled 3 substations, adding to 157 megawatts. 157 megawatt It is equivalent to the electricity which was served by the time UEB was disbanded. That's a lot of electricity. And what was the cause? A team of vandals brought down transmission line, and we've lost 157. What we can only supply is about 15 megawatts. But even other areas, they have been affected by those activities of vandalism on the distribution side. What happened is, usually at night, a team of bad people, thieves, or bad wishers go on the network and cut different equipments. And our investors in the areas of Mukono and the surrounding part of Namave, some are off because the available power cannot be in a position to energize some of those factories. What we have, we've reserved only for domestic customers, because the affected number of customers is 128,000. Out of that, about 300 three-phase factories. So we weighed in and we say it's better you should do a supply 90% of the population as opposed to 10, because we didn't want to have more insecurity in the area and other riots happening. So we engaged the manufacturers on the 20th, explained, visited the site, and we've worked out a plan with our sister company, UTCL. We believe this week the network will be up and running. That's on the transmission side. But on the distribution side, we are also heavily hammered by vandals. On average, every week we get a case. You can't imagine that a line covering a kilometer or 2 or 3 could be vandalized in a given area, for example, in Mitiana, Kasongola. And even last week, there are so many reasons, but the arrest we've done, we've arrested 62 people. They are different. Some are economical, but to observation, there's a good percentage of sabotage. And that's why the government actually put that category. Whoever's caught vandalizing the network is termed as a terrorist because of their activities and their behavior. You can't believe, even if vandalization happens in Nakasero, just here in Kampala, they go on the line and they cut a piece of 1 meter. They leave the transformers off. To do what? Maybe to portray that UDCL is even unable to supply power in Nakasero. Even in Mengo and the Koilo, we have 27,000 transformers across the country, and we have over 1 million poles across the country. The network is 87,000 kilometers. That means if you're to deploy servicemen, you need more than 100,000 servicemen. Now you compare with our police and the army, so we have other priorities. But what we are emphasizing, let this network be a community-based ownership. We have seen cases where wrongdoers go on the village, they purport that they are part of the utility service provider. Some of them are communicants, putting on different attires, not for the utility, and the community gives them access. So we've had such cases. So what we are saying to the community, whoever comes to do any work on the network and you are suspicious without a UEDCL ID or without a moving fleet with UEDCL, first question them. We've seen cases where the community questioned the people. For example, in Kalisizu, the community questioned the people. They later to realize they were communicants and they were bad doers. They are arrested. Now they are in jail. So we've also seen some cases in Uganda where the community asked questions to the people and they were not forthcoming. They were arrested and put in and at least the community was saved. So let this exercise be a combined issue. Actually, we've also seen the communities, power goes off at around 9-10 in the evening. Tomorrow you see bad elements coming to ask for money. That's not how you digital work.
Listen to Witness Radio to learn more about environmental laws and policies and how you can protect the environment.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
Witness Radio.
You're listening to Eyes on a Just Energy Transition.
And as we wrap up today's episode, you should be reminded that Uganda is on the journey transiting from fossil fuels to renewable energy or clean cooking, and this requires you too to embrace the efforts and be part of the great transformation. And before we end the program, please, if you want to listen to us, visit our website www.witnessradio.org or visit Google Play Store and download the Witness Radio app. And in case you'd like to reach us out, please chat with us on our WhatsApp +256 745 965 765 or through calling us directly on +256 414 697 221, and we shall hear from you, or on all our social media platforms. Thank you for keeping it locked on Witness Radio. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay inspired to be part of the energy revolution. Please do not forget that Eyes on a Just Energy Transition airs on Witness Radio every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. East African Standard Time. Catch us again, same time, same radio station. I am Mweri Stephen, your host.
That was Eyes on a Just Energy Transition, amplifying community voices and keeping justice at the center of Africa's clean energy shift. Join us again next time, and keep your eyes open for change.